Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your support. Now, the whole world watched as Madam Samia Suluhu and the Tanzanian Authority messed up an election and disenfranchised many Tanzanians. They decided to block the Chama Chadema leader Tundu Lissu with some trumped-up charges, and they're now charging him with treason. They unleashed mayhem on his supporters. The country is now burning. They pulled down internet so that they could block the Gen Zs from mobilizing each other, and they still call that an election. It is the president competing against herself. Now, as the police was killing innocent citizens, many of them were disenfranchised, there is a body that I've been waiting for to at least give its voice. This useless body called the African Union. And I want to repeat that was not a slip of the tongue. This useless organization called the African Union. They are very quiet. In fact, they are waiting to congratulate Madam Samia Suluhu, who is headed for a landslide victory. When this is happening, the European Union Parliament declared that election shambolic, not free, not fair, not verifiable, not honest. And I find it very difficult that we are waiting for some people, external forces, to come and declare an election in Africa null and shambolic. Well, we as Africans need to take a front line and at the center stage of condemning illegalities when it comes to such important matters. We are very quiet. We saw a leader being frustrated, and we are still very quiet. And the reason why I feel pain about this is because many a times we want autonomy. But how can we be autonomous in the eyes of the whole world when this is happening in Africa, yet we don't want to condemn it? We are waiting for the European Union, to come and condemn it. This is how we allow ourselves to be controlled by these Europeans. And rightly so, because look, right now, the African Union, the SADC, I don't know what, they are very quiet. The moment Samia Suluhu will be declared the president, they will be quick to congratulate her. Why? Because they are birds of the same feathers. Most of those presidents who are sitting in those offices and are being maintained hugely and expensively, exorbitantly with taxpayers' money, hard-earned tax, are there illegally. They control the electoral bodies, they control the police, the army, they control the courts, and the structures are there. Like in my country, you will be told, once you have been declared the loser, you are told go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court and the president and the system is the same. Some of them will beat and torture their opponents. Some of them will kill their opponents even 2 years or 1 year before that election. Some of the opposition leaders are even afraid. They are scared. They have sought asylum in other countries. You hear that maybe someone, let me just use my country, that an opposition leader from Kenya has sought an asylum in the US. The US government knows very well that this is a person who is competing you, and you are threatening his life, maybe the life of the family members, and they are hosting this person. How do you expect to be independent when you still condescend to this level? And I'm just saying that if we are not careful, we are not going to be independent. This is how the European, the Western countries will still install leaders, because even when we are allowed to vote our own leaders, we are fighting, we are killing each other, we are being oppressed, and then you still want to say that you want independence. You still want to claim that we don't want Europeans and all those people to come and interfere with our elections. Madam Suluhu did not figure out the magnitude of the outcome of her actions. Why do you subject your country to such kind of mayhem? If you really love your country, if you really love your country, it is very obvious that the citizens are tired. They are tired of the process. An election comes after certain years, after sometimes depending on the constitution that guides that country. It is a moment to change leadership. And I am sure the way Madam Suluhu has managed that general election, we are only looking at the top, but I'm sure her party will get the landslide of members of parliaments and councillors, because if that is what is happening at the top, it will trickle down to the the small seats like the councillors. But one thing I like about the Gen Zs is one. I know they have protested, people have lost their lives, some have been maimed. Suluhu is still going to be declared the president. But one thing they have showed the whole world is that this election was not free and fair, it was not honest, it was not verifiable. We were mad at it. We didn't keep quiet. We went out of our way. Yesterday, they even defied the curfew that had been declared. And they have shown the whole world that this is what is happening in our country. Many a times, a president can pretend that everything is okay. When all of you are oppressed and you allow yourselves to be intimidated and you vote, you go inside your houses, then the president will come out and will thank you for voting him or her, and people will not know. And the way Madam Suluhu is soft-spoken, you think that she's the best president ever. And when wananchi wake up, they go to the streets, they protest, they show the whole world that we are mad. You expose the president, you expose the system, you expose what is happening. What is the worst that maybe the European Union can do to Suluhu? Nothing. They can only impose some sanctions, maybe block some of the family members, the members of the cabinet, declare them persona non gratas in their countries, their nationals. But the problem with this is that they also look at their interest. You see, they will just voice their concerns. It was not transparent. Samia Suluhu will still be sworn in. That is why everything is in our hands. If we wait for them to change our country, nothing will happen, because by the end of the day, they do businesses together. The European Union and TZ do their business. So they will look at their interest. But the main thing is that the whole world has seen that we are breeding dictatorship in Africa. The neocolonialism and dictatorship are controlling our country. The African Union should even be disbanded, because why do we have that organization? How is it helping Africa if one of them is messing up an election, messing up the system? They are all quiet. It's because none of them is in power. Maybe just a few of them are in power, through a honest process. All majority, 90%, 99%, are that guys who have either stolen elections, rigged it, or taken it by force. Aluta continua, and Gen Zs in Africa are beginning to wake up. With the internet, they are rallying each other. That is why every government starts by shutting down the internet, so that the social media pages are not working. But you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. If the leaders are not going to shape up, Rajolina didn't know it would happen that way. It is not only in Africa, but in many other countries outside Africa. Gen Zs are beginning to wake up. And sooner than soonest, itaeleweka.